Hello, welcome to this week's Designer Diary. The most common discussion I've seen this week is all about sales and making sure your titles appear in sales. And there seems to be four elements to this. The first one is the most obvious, that in your publisher sort of in the publisher back end of drive make sure that you have enabled your titles to be included in the site-wide sales. Uh, if you've not ticked that or you've excluded any particular titles, then it doesn't matter what the sale is, you will not be included in it. So that's the first thing. The second thing is about tagging products because you when you set up your title, there's a whole load of checkboxes for the game system, the genre, the language, the format, all that sort of thing. Make sure you tick the right boxes for your product, and because that is a major consideration when they decide what's going to be in a horror sale. They will look for everything that is tagged as horror. If there's a romantic sale in February, then they might look for everything that's tagged as romance. Um, you drive-through team are always looking for new themes, to take a different cross section of products and showcase them. So you make sure that you have tagged everything as it should be. But the drive-through filters are slightly more sophisticated than that. So what you should also do is for everything you've tagged, make sure that that is explicitly spelt out in the product description. So if you'd written a romantic adventure in the romance section, but it happens to be set as a Halloween ball, or well, or maybe it's a investigative uh, adventure set in amongst trick or treating. Make sure that you write that in there, saying that the characters enjoying their Halloween, they're trick or treating when the adventure starts. Put that in the description because then your investigative adventure will get caught up in the next Halloween sale because you explicitly say Halloween and you know whatever as they use the word filters on the descriptions. You're using the right words to get your adventure selected, even though it isn't explicitly tagged for Halloween. So that's the next bit. And then another important bit, yeah, so that's make sure that it's tagged, make sure sales are enabled, make sure the product descriptions you include the keywords relating to each sale. And the last one um, is largely out of your control to an extent. The publishers of the community content programs, so that's DM's Guild, Storytellers Vault, any of them. I think there's 30 or 40 now. It's up to them whether they include community content, and it's up to them what titles they include in the sales. Now, you can't control that, but what you can do is if you see a sale go by and your products are not included, you can actually put pressure on the community content program owner to fix that for next time. Say we were all excluded from this sale. Obviously they get a share of everything that you sell. So put pressure on the right people. If it's White Wolf, for the Storytellers Vault, or Onyx Path for they've run several community content programs. The Pugmire and the uh, Storypath Nexus. DM's Guild. Put pressure on the people running the programs and get them to include the community content in the sales. So yeah, that's it. There's a lot that you can do directly to make sure that you're included, and there's stuff that pressure you can apply indirectly to try and get products that are excluded included. And the very last thing I think it's something that I did was I looked at the sales that were going by and I jotted down the titles of them. And then when I was, say, writing an adventure or looking for a game to write for, I picked games which featured in the biggest sales and featured well in the biggest sales. And that way, the following year, when some of the same sales came round, you know, I then had products, adventures or rule books or whatever, that did hit all the right criteria. So I went through a first year where I was missed out of many, many sales. And then the second year I was in the biggest sales. And then the third year I was in most sales. And I think this year the only sale I haven't been included in was the Fae sale, because I don't actually do that much fantasy. I'm more kind of modern and science fiction. And the Fae just don't really come up that often. So, there's been, I think I counted up the other day that there had been 13 sales in 25 weeks. So every other week is a sale week. And of all those sales, there was only one that I wasn't included in. So you can write to your marketing opportunities. So yeah, that's it. Do everything at your end to get yourself included in the sales and put pressure on the people that run the sales. So those are my thoughts this week. Thank you for watching.